Most financial advice out there practically screams that you need $1 million to finally feel wealthy, right? Or at least a six-figure salary just to breathe easy. But looking at the actual data, yeah, they might be missing something absolutely crucial. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on a totally different magic number, one that literally transforms your entire relationship with money. And that number? It's $20,000.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for escaping that exhausting paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. We're going to cover the $1 million myth, escaping survival mode, the math of momentum, the identity shift, walking away money, and finally, avoiding the reward trap.
So why exactly $20,000? Well, I want you to picture pushing this massive, incredibly heavy boulder up a really steep hill. Getting it started is just brutal. You're sweating, you're straining, and gravity is fighting you every single step of the way. But that $20,000 mark, that's the crest of the hill. Once you hit it, you finally stop pushing against the resistance and momentum takes over. Gravity actually starts working for you instead of against you.
All right, part one, escaping survival mode, the psychological trap.
Listen, when you don't have savings, your brain is basically operating in pure survival mode. Every single financial decision you make gets filtered through this lens of fear and scarcity. You end up taking terrible jobs just because you literally can't afford to be picky. You stay in situations you absolutely hate. Being in this mode, it's like trying to plan a relaxing vacation while your house is actively on fire. Your mental bandwidth is totally consumed by immediate short-term threats, leaving zero room, and I mean zero, to focus on growth or spot new opportunities.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. Looking at this Vanguard research, moving from zero to just a $2,000 emergency fund boosts your financial well-being by a solid 21%. But when you push that to a full 3 to 6 months of living expenses, which for most folks lands right around that $20,000 mark, you get another massive 13% boost. You are literally shifting your brain's capacity from panicked wealth preservation straight into proactive wealth building.
Moving on to part two, the math of momentum, shrinking timelines.
Now check out this timeline if you're saving $1,000 a month with an 8% return. Getting to your first $20,000 takes about 19 months of hardcore, head-down discipline. It's tough, no doubt about it. But look at that second row. That second $20,000, it only takes 17 months. Think about that. You're doing the exact same amount of work, making the exact same monthly contribution, but you just shaved 2 full months off your timeline. Why? Because your existing money is now generating its own returns. It's in the trenches working right alongside you.
And if you stay the course, the acceleration becomes almost comical. Seriously, once you reach a $400,000 portfolio, generating that exact same $20,000 milestone drops to just 5 months. 5 months! The exact milestone that initially took you nearly 2 years of grinding now happens practically automatically through your investments.
People often think wealthy folks have access to some sort of secret VIP investment world. But it's really just the basic mathematics of scale. Let's break it down. A 10% return on $2,000 is $200. Nice, sure, but not life-changing. But that exact same 10% return, with the exact same effort and the exact same risk applied to $20,000, that is $2,000. Hitting that threshold fundamentally turns small percentage wins into real, tangible money that completely changes your life. Which brings us to part 3, the identity shift, rewiring your brain. Saving $20,000 requires immense discipline, and pulling that off fundamentally rewires who you are. Look at this contrast right here. Before crossing the threshold, a car breakdown is a catastrophic disaster. It totally derails your entire month, maybe your year. After you hit $20,000, that exact same car breakdown is just, well, it's a minor inconvenience. You've transitioned out of a broke mindset into a foundation mindset. You've basically proven to yourself that you can control your money rather than letting it control you. And because your brain is rewired, your decision-making completely flips. When you're broke, you agonize over micro-decisions, generic cereal or name brand, $3 coffee or make it at home. It is incredibly mentally exhausting. But crossing that threshold liberates you. You suddenly realize that skipping a $3 coffee isn't going to make or break your future. Instead, you free up your mental bandwidth to strategize on the macro decisions, optimizing your housing costs, maximizing your income, actually solidifying your investments. You stop sweating the small stuff so you can strategize on building serious wealth.
Let's move to and see how this builds into part 4, walking away money, career leverage.
Having this money fundamentally changes your relationship with your employer. We call it walking away money. Basically, it means you have enough savings to quit a job tomorrow and comfortably survive for months while finding something way better.
Without this safety net, you are trapped in a really weak position. You can't ask for a raise or push back on a toxic boss because, let's face it, you desperately need that next paycheck. But with $20,000, you are suddenly negotiating from a position of absolute strength. You effectively unlock a whole set of workplace superpowers simply by having this money sitting securely in the bank. You can confidently ask for raises, push back on unreasonable demands, and safely explore new opportunities without all that fear holding you back. And honestly, the crazy part, you often don't even need to touch the money. Just knowing it's there makes you more confident and assertive at work. People notice that energy, you get better assignments, and you ultimately end up making more money. It's this incredible positive feedback loop that accelerates your entire career.
All right, on to our final section, Part 5, Avoiding the Reward Trap, the Final Warning.
So here is the big question we have to answer. You hit $20,000, now what? I see so many people hit this milestone, they feel that amazing psychological shift, and then they immediately fall into a massive trap. They decide to reward their discipline with something like a brand new car. But listen, that $20,000 isn't a reward for good behavior. It's the fundamental seed of generational wealth.
You really have to consider the brutal reality of opportunity cost here. People love buying a flashy, say, $30,000 new car just to feel successful. But the moment you drive it off the lot, boom, it loses 20% of its value immediately. You aren't just spending money at that point, you are actively destroying wealth. Compare that to investing the same amount. Over 20 years, that money could grow to over $200,000. Filtering your purchases through opportunity cost is the true key to designing the life you actually want.
And to wrap things up, I want to leave you with this fantastic, super provocative quote from our source material. The person driving the flashy new car is probably stressed about money, while the person driving the older Honda is quietly building wealth and sleeping better at night. I mean, it perfectly captures the beautiful irony of wealth building, doesn't it? So, I have to ask you, are you ready to choose your future freedom over just looking wealthy today? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we keep breaking down the ideas that truly matter.